I was listening to Identity Crisis again this morning. I was
same.
like, wow,
Same.
this is great. I wish it was longer, but it gave me exactly what I needed.
Literally.
So I can come back and get some more. So congratulations on that, first of all.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that and how we even got here, because I know you went from dancing to acting to now you have a project out. So let's take it all the way back.
All the way back.
We were just talking about you went to a performing arts school. Both your parents are a musician and dancer, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about your background, how you even get here.
Yeah, my mom's a dancer and my dad was a musician. He was signed to, a record label. Didn't love the industry. He just educated me on how evil and corrupt it could be.
Yeah.
He's like, I support you, but just know, like, this is how
Have
it
your
goes.
eyes open.
Right, have your eyes open. And so, I'm on my P's and Q's.
Right.
They always make a joke that I started dancing before I could walk, that they just like threw me in dance classes and they're like, this girl's got a lot of energy. We got to put it somewhere. Because I was a lot. I was a lot. And so I just started dancing and naturally, watching my dad, I like fell in love with music, seeing him play the keys, the drums and just singing. And I was like, I want to do what my dad's doing.
That's
Do you play any instruments yourself?
Yeah, I play some piano and guitar.
Nice.
Oh, that's
nice.
what's up.
Yeah.
Now you talked about
myself
like the entertainment industry and like the woes that come with it. You being in all these different facets of the entertainment industry, which one do you think is easier or harder to navigate? Like, what do you think are the differences between navigating the industry as an actress versus as a singer and all the things?
That's a good question. Man, that's a really good question.
Gotta think about that one.
Yeah.
Or maybe the
Hard
differences.
and easier. Okay. I'd say the dance industry I had a difficult time being in because it was so over-sexualized. Like every audition, it's like you have to wear underwear and bra and heels. And I'm like, that's just not my vibe. Like every audition you go to, tour, music videos, that's the wardrobe.
Yeah.
And I'm not comfortable in that. I don't want to do that.
I kind of heard you talking about that in They Say.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. And just the audition process is really like overwhelming. It's like 1,000 people in one room and learning the same choreography. You learn it the day of, then you have maybe like 10, 15 minutes to like perfect it, and then you go in the room and audition.
Wow.
I think acting, you have a union that protects you. Of course, there's still crazy things that go on, but you have a union that, has rules and guidelines that you have to follow. And music, I feel like it's just...
Get it how you live it. Like,
really, I've never been so shocked before, like learning so much. And, I had my dad, but he only knew so much. And
things are constantly evolving.
yeah, it's completely different when he was, coming up. Now we have social media and the pressures of that. Like, I hate social media. And people are like, you have to stay consistent. You have to be on top of it. And it's like, how accessible do I have to be?
Yeah.
Like, I'm already giving you my art.
Yeah.
So it's just, they're all three so different. But, yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons to each.
interesting.
I didn't even think about that, because you're technically a triple threat, but I didn't think about how hard it is to navigate every single aspect of entertainment. But so you went to a performing arts school. This is where you learned everything. You learned acting, dancing, dance classes before. They put you in situations where you could do all three?
For the high school, I just went for dance.
Oh, okay.
So middle school and high school, I went to dance because you could only do like one department. And I probably fell in love with acting in the midst of that just because of musical theater. But, in high school, I was really timid about singing because at the high school, it's like if you're a dancer, that's all you are.
Yeah.
Like they would have musicals, but like actors and people in music would get the lead. And dancers were like known to not be able to sing. So I was like, let me just sit myself right
So
here.
you didn't even want to try, huh?
I did
Probably
try
would've
my
blew 'em out.
senior year.
Okay.
I tried my senior year and I was like, all right. And I got the lead. And
What
I
was the
said,
play?
are you okay?
Of course you
Mimi and
did.
Rent.
Love that.
Yes. And I put like ensemble background for my audition. And they're like, why'd you put this? I said, because I think that's what I'll get. So
They're like,
They're like, no, don't
Yeah,
play
they're
yourself
like,
short.
okay.
come to the front.
What is it called? Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
No, don't have it.
For real.
Ooh, that,
So is that how you led into...
Honestly, yes.
Yeah, that's what got you
I
into
think
the
that
acting field?
experience, like the
Opened you.
teachers completely poured into me and I like gained so much confidence. Like at first I was like,
That's a great thing.
why did they pick me? This is
Yeah.
wrong. Like I'm going to fumble it. But being on stage and being unapologetically like doing all three things, I was like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah, me and my sister were having that conversation yesterday. We were talking about how a lot of people in the industry, they always say, oh, my teachers said I wasn't going to be shit. And it's like, are y'all teachers really saying that? Or are you just making these stories up? Because every story I hear, it's like, no, my teachers poured into me. I had this village around me of people that supported me. And like you said, encouraged me to do something that I wouldn't have done on my own. And look where it's led you to.
I feel like people who say that, it's like Michael Jordan. Remember how he would like make up beefs with other players just so that he can go on the court? Yeah, he said that on the...
so he could have some type of
aggression. He'd be like, oh yeah, that man,
I guess that's a motivation.
Like
really,
I don't know.
That's
I think there definitely are teachers out there
for sure
who
there is.
project and are not healthy. But in my experience, I've had beautiful teachers who've been like,
that's great.
I remember one teacher was like, I was like, I'm scared. And they're like, scared? I don't remember that ever being in your vocabulary.
Right, exactly.
Like,
I like that.
I don't associate Jazlyn with fear. And I said, what?
Exactly.
Shout out to teachers.
Like, shout out to Wendy.
Well, shout out to the good teachers.
Right, the ones that, shout
out to the good teachers.
We appreciate
that can get.
So how did this lead to your role in This Is Us and All American? And how did this happen?
I like went to college for a year and I was like, I don't need a degree in this. Like, I'm just going to go back.
Would you go to school? What were you studying while were you in school?
Musical theater and dance.
Yeah.
So, like, a dual major.
I could see why you didn't feel like you needed to study that.
Yeah, I was like, what am I doing? Let's go home. So I came back home and I was like, let me just start auditioning. And I did acting, did, commercials, just the whole lineup. And then I booked This Is Us as my first theatrical thing. And then All American. And I still kept dancing here and there, and I was still singing, still training. I trained my whole life vocally, but I never like made something of my own musically.
Sat down and created something.
Yeah, and then Bel Air came along, and that's how it all happened.
So, Bel Air, how? And then I'm gonna use this to get into Identity Crisis because we ain't forget.
Okay,
of course not. That's what
your character on Bel Air, Jackie. How similar do you think you are to her in real life, like you yourself?
I don't think I'm too similar. I think any human being can relate to Jackie. I think everyone has felt, unwanted, unloved, rejected, but I don't think I'm necessarily similar. I think we are both strong. We're both driven. But she has, she's grown up a completely different way than I have. And I think she's faced things that I will never have to face. So there's some similarities, but a lot of differences.
Okay. And then now with Identity Crisis, how much of you is in the music that you've produced and put out?
Sounds like all of it.
All, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say all of me, yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
I feel it when you can feel it when you're listening to it.
In that same vein.
Seems very genuine.
That, is it Lead Me to Love?
Yeah.
Are those all your vocals?
Yeah.
That's fire. I'm like,
He's
how
like,
many?
And you were scared to sing something? Yeah, it's like, nah.
Yeah, that one.
Whoever layered these vocals.
Talk about a mix engineer, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? That really is make or break. I listen to, we have a Patreon where I listen to like our submissions for playlist consideration. And sometimes I'm like, this would sound really good if your engineer knew what they were doing.
Some people just don't have
that is really make or break.
Mixing really makes or breaks it.
For sure.
They made it.
Shout out to Vinny.
They did
Shout
that.
out to Vinny.
The project is really good. I love listening to it, and it sounds really great. Like I said, I just wanted it to be like an extra 4 more songs. I just keep running it back every time it goes to the end. I'm like, oh, start over again.
But that's like the best note you can receive.
Right, it's
as
like
an
that's
artist.
the best.
It's like, I want more
of
like,
it.
good.
Yeah, I left you hanging for a reason so that I could keep you hungry. Keep eating.
Exactly.
But would you say that it was easier to transition into music from acting, or would you have started the opposite way if you could?
Definitely easier transitioning.
Yeah, why?
I think financially, like, we have to start there. Like,
right, of course.
Acting helped me be in a position where I can be an independent artist and support myself financially, because it's expensive.
Studio
everything.
time ain't free.
Studio time, mixing the beats, like just, visuals, everything is so expensive. So I think I did it at the right time. And, I'm such a quality person that I wanted it to look good and feel good. Yeah. So I think,
it does.
Thank you.
You writing too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds really good. You could tell.
Lead Me to Love. Yeah, that was.
That one?
It was difficult.
And you know what? When I first listened to it when it came out, I thought the track with Fabo was my favorite. But then in listening to it back, I'm like, I like that one too. But I think now Leave Me the Love is my favorite. And then it boom starts all over.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
just run it back.
Yeah.
R&B only.